Hello and thank you for being with me today. It's a beautiful, beautiful place that we're in. Please like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and contact me for a reading. We can go deeper into your personal birth chart and the current transits and how they're affecting you. I'm really, really happy to be here with you. I do all of this for free because it is my passion, and any support that I can get just means that I can go deeper in my exploration in what I can share with you and what I find. So, thank you for being here. Hello everyone and welcome to the Ineffableelse, and welcome to our new outdoor studio. I'm giving this a try because the almond blossom may not be here for too long and I want to soak it up and share it with you. As we enter, not yet, as we finish one of the cycles of the zodiac with Pisces. So I'll try not to speak if there's wind and edit any of the wind noise out. So another reason for wanting to be outside to give this report is that Pisces is about the great outdoors and the great beyond, and it's not about a safe confined space. This is the total opposite energy of everything we've been experiencing so far, and it's been dawning on me as I make this on the cusp of Aquarius. I now see the value of a cusp. So people who say, oh, I was born on a cusp between two signs, so I don't know if I'm this or that. I think you're blessed because you have the best of both worlds. Every sign is masculine or feminine, meaning it is either moving outward and encroaching or going inward and retracting, meaning more of an inward focus or more an external focus. And to be honest, this Aquarius season has seen me more productive than I've ever been in my life, and it's masculine air, and this is just growth, but fixed in the center and expanding like that without losing its core. And it's really surprised me when you engage with the energy as it is, what you can do with it. And now we stand on the precipice before Pisces, and I feel this wave of what's to come in ebbs and flows. And I see how each progression through the signs is assisting itself, assisting us to understand it. Up to Capricorn and the top of the mountain where we just really see how far we've come. And then Aquarius takes a look up to the stars and looks beyond at where we're going. And only with that perspective can we handle Pisces. Pisces cannot be understood almost by any other archetype. It will always be misunderstood, and it would be, and historically has been, a sign of undoing. It's the 12th house. This is where we're at. We're at the end of the zodiac. And this is where our undoing can happen. If we've not done the self-care before, if we don't have a routine and a regimen and things and habits and good habits that we've adopted earlier on in the year, then we suffer in Pisces, and we just use the escape mechanism. Pisces is a very specific energy. It is the cherry on top of the year. It's not something we can just tap into at any time as a way to escape. It is the power of dreams and what they can bring us. It's like dessert, you know, we can only enjoy it once we've traversed all of the other steps. It's a 12-step program. Water is incredibly receptive, and it is 70% of what we're made from. Pisces is the antithesis of Capricorn, the antithesis of control and boundaries and restrictions. We need to use Saturn and Capricorn to establish our own boundaries and who we are, because Pisces has none. And this can result in so many dead ends, so many wrong turns and time wasting. You know, it doesn't have a grasp on time, but it does exist. It is a thing. This is our opportunity to reflect and to go inward, and I feel these waves coming. I feel the waves of emotion, and much more of a collective emotion. If Cancer is taking everything personally and then taking it back, and then, you know, constantly having this reflection, inward, outward, like the tides moving. Scorpio is seeing and then feeling things deeply, penetratively, and favoring the shadows and just the depths of something. Then Pisces is all about the totality. It's about seeing things as they actually are, and being able to differentiate and distinguish between what is me and what is you and what is us and what is them, and what are these concepts anyway. Pisces is the most sensitive of the signs, but there are many ways to be sensitive, and it really depends on the state of the ego. And because it's mutable and it's water, that's energy moving outwards, and it's water, it's highly affected by the other signs in your chart natally and what's happening in the stars at the moment. So that's why I think it's important that we pay attention to the transits that are going to happen through the next month. So on the 19th of February, Venus in Aquarius will square Mars in Taurus. When Mars and Venus are square each other, this is how we love and how we act coming into a confrontation. Fixed air, fixed earth. Fixed air concepts about love and what we want from a relationship and what we believe relationships should be. And then how we act and how we value action and what our love language is. So it's a very Venusian square of a confrontation for us to face. And all things happening within the Pisces sun create a period of true reflection. Pisces is, you know, the eyes of a fish. It can see in all directions and have a very just full understanding of everything that's happened, because it's been through everything. We've been through everything to get to this point in the year. And on the 20th of February, Mercury goes direct. To me, that doesn't mean anything other than it's energy of the mind moving in a more forward direction rather than going over the last few weeks. I see Mercury as extremely practical and extremely just making us retrace our steps if we need to when it's retrograde. The 25th, Venus enters Pisces as well. So then we're loving in a way that is truly from the heart. Sometimes it's difficult to talk about Pisces because there are so many examples of Pisces people in the world, and on one level there's something you can see in them which is just transcendental. It's just like a glimpse of the beyond, and then they have to come back into human form and then they do something, and you know, it doesn't necessarily equate to an evolution of consciousness, just having this flavor. And we've all got Pisces somewhere in our chart doing something, and we're all experiencing it now. And it's about the capacity to be able to stand up to the potential that's within this evolutionary flow that is the greatest challenge for this time of year before we birth ourselves. Now, at the moment we are impregnated with the next year to come. I do feel like the start of the year is now, with the buds of spring coming, rather than in the middle of winter. And also this is more the Chinese New Year, and we've been through the year of the rat, the last year, contagion, masses of people like the plague, smallness, day-to-dayness, you know, always having to watch the news every single day to see what is the next thing that's going to happen. And then it gets to a point where it's like, oh, this is draining my time and energy, so let's look more big picture at the future of things. And now we're in the bull and the ox, and you can you can choose how you interpret this energy, but for me, I'm going to take it as a more Taurus style of thing, which is what my values are moving forward, how I'm going to be stuck in my center in a really good way, and what my values will be in the face of whatever is going to come. So it's that kind of being able to roll with the punches, but you're still you know those boxers who are just built like a horse or an ox, but they move like water, they move like liquid, and can just and to have that combination of energies, I think, is very healthy as we move forward, because everything is up in the air. When Venus is in Pisces, it's in an exalted state. This is a place that Venus loves to be, because Venus is about beauty, and there is nothing more beautiful than the potential pregnant within the Pisces season. On the 27th, we have a full moon in Virgo. As always, the full moon is the opposite sign of the sun. So how we are going to embrace this full moon, well, it's planning. It's planning for the next year. It's what do you want to do, what do you want to achieve, what are your goals, what have you learned, and reflection, and this is the perfect list making night, and magic and spells, and just the beautiful combination of these two escapist signs, utilizing that dreamy state to just do those manifestation dream board exercises, watch The Secret, get your trajectory on board, and as always, just keep some humor. Like any of these things, the medicine is always humor. Because it's very funny if you think of a full moon as being like the limelight or the spotlight of the month, and when Virgo gets it, it's like, yeah, I'm gonna just plan everything to the minutiae, the tiniest detail. And why not? Why not alphabetize your CD rack, as if we have those. And on the 3rd, we have Mars going into Gemini, into another air sign. So when everything's in air, air and water is very bubbly and fresh, and it is fresh, and it's so clean. And this is something we can really engage, is this new opportunity, and when you reflect over the last year, there is no point dwelling on the negative, because it's not going to benefit us at all. The only thing we can do is say, what are we taking with us, what are we dropping off, what things have this cataclysmic event made me lose that I've been holding on to, that because of the profundity of this year has made me have to cut the ties, have to say no for the first time. And where was it, that push that I needed? And Gemini action is to make the communication, do the networking, don't be shy. This timidity. We're now much more in a free fall. So imagine you are Alice going down the rabbit hole, and she's falling, and but she's also stopping at a table and having a cup of tea, and and it's possible to carry on as normal whilst you're also upside down. This is the breakdown of the duality, where Pisces and Virgo, the very, very earth-based, earthly domain, and then the dreamscape realm, start to marry and mingle together in something much more unified. And speaking of the air, we've got on the 4th of March, Mercury in Aquarius and Jupiter also in Aquarius in conjunction. So that's an expansion of the mind and concepts, and you'll probably be triggered by this. You'll probably have many things come up in your vicinity. You'll find out your best friend is one of the people you've been fighting with online, the faceless entity turns out to be your brother. It's this kind of mind-blowing experience of how accepting we can be. And Pisces is receptive, and Pisces can be gullible, and Pisces can be everything, and it's quite difficult to make a report about this sign because it is just so open to interpretation, and it really depends on where you are in your evolution. And evolutionary progression is not a case of some person being more evolved than another. It's this person has access to this particular book and has gone down that path really far. This other person has gone to this country and seen things from that perspective. And they're both moving and they've both expanded. But it's not a case of some kind of graph. You know, you can't quantify it. They've both gone in different directions and can come back and bring something completely new to the table. And maybe this one still has prejudices that this one hasn't overcome, but has overcome. And then that's where we can share, and it's like, oh yeah, you've dealt with that, cool, I've dealt with that. And that's how we give each other this hand up, rather than this wearing badges as if I'm me and you're you. Like, no, Pisces is like, we are we, and we are sharing, and we can make this whole evolution much faster if we all go and do different things and then come back and say, this is what I've observed, and to see things from a completely new perspective that you've never been able to, and really wear the hat of your enemy. And then on the 10th of March, we've got the Sun conjunct Neptune in Pisces. And now the ruler of Neptune is Pisces. This is where it is at home. So it's been at home for quite some time. But now with the Sun on top of it, it's going to magnify this energy of Neptune, which is the energy of dreams, the energy of manifesting, the energy of the ethereal, ghostly realms, the things that are unquantifiable, that you can't quite explain. And this is the perfect night for meditation. Just go in and see what's happening. And really the best thing about everything that's come of the last year, and don't worry if you didn't do it last year, that's the whole point of starting with Aries. We get another opportunity every year to go through this, and you start a meditation practice and you start clearing yourself of all this accumulated crap that we've all got, bar none. And then by the next Pisces season, you're much clearer to be able to go deeper into meditation. And because in the beginning, your meditations will just start showing you yourself, and yourself is really your society and your accumulations. So you get to see all that stuff. And then little by little, you become cleaner and cleaner and cleaner, until then you start really being able to see what's happening, and you start being able to notice things, even little things like the blossom on the trees. Potentially I would have walked past that before without even noticing that they were here, because they will just be here for 3 days. And it's very possible, if you're in a bubble of pain and suffering and the delusions of the world, it's very possible you don't want to leave the house, and then you miss all of this. And this is why sometimes the gentle nagging of someone who maybe feels, yeah, like they're trying to boss you around, like, come on, you should do this, do that, yeah, is really coming from a place of, yeah, but it's lighter over here, like the grass really is greener. Like, no, can't be, because that's what we tell ourselves. And Pisces, whether we like it or not, shows us the reality, and then that can really conflict with what we're carrying inside and what we've got accumulated, and that can be super triggering. So it's not all roses for everyone all of the time. It really depends on how our ego is doing and how identified we are with everything. And I say like how our ego is doing as if it's some kind of like monster or pet or demon, and it's really not. It's you know, imagine I get brain damage and then tomorrow I wake up speaking Chinese and thinking I'm a man, or that, you know, I've got a wife or something, and it's like, but that's my reality and I believe it wholeheartedly. That's all the ego is. It's just when you have this big set of labels that you believe in thoroughly, but they're not real. Those things are not real, the same as this is not real. And then after that meditation on the 10th, Try another on the 13th, when the new moon will be in Pisces. So this will be the darkest night. If you can get out under the stars, it's a perfect time to see them. You know, no moon, no additional light. And Pisces is about, in the way that there are so many words to describe what Capricorn is, Pisces is ineffable. Ineffable meaning beyond words. There are no words. That's why I use this word. So my name is Else. My initials spell the word else. And my partner, he introduced me to the ineffable. And then I start a YouTube channel trying to talk about the ineffable else. The things that I couldn't see before. The things that are beyond. And then how do you relay them? And this is everything to do with Gemini in the 3rd house. I have a heavy 3rd house dynamic happening to me natally, and then that's what comes through me and out of me. And I'm embracing that now. So for everyone, this will feel different, depending on where your ascendant is, and what is happening and being triggered at any given moment in your chart, as well as these universal transits that will happen for all of us. Because then on the 15th, Mercury moves into Pisces. So a mind in Pisces, a mind cataloguing, controlling, wanting to put things into boxes, and Pisces is the opposite of the container. It is the and there are so many ways that water is misconceived as something weak or soft or light. It can be ice, it can be thunderstorms, it can be tsunamis, it can be waves crashing against rocks, ripping them asunder. It can be hailstones. If the hailstones fall on these flowers and knock them off, then you're looking at no almonds next autumn. You know, the smallest thing can cause this domino effect that goes on through the year. And then on the 16th and the 18th, we have some sextiles happening with Pluto. And the sextiles are the Sun in Pisces and Venus in Pisces against the Capricorn Pluto. Now, Capricorn doesn't have too much respect for any of the other signs, but it certainly respects Aquarius. And Pisces, it's almost terrified of. But Pisces couldn't be where it is if it wasn't for the work that was being done in Capricorn, and has been being done for the last 10 years in Capricorn. So there is always this Pluto undercurrent. I really want you to understand that it doesn't matter what the sun is doing most of the time. It's where Pluto is at that is the baseline. Pluto in Capricorn at the moment. So this is Saturnian themes of control dynamics, and we really are. It's quite nice to just say post-apocalyptic, you know, post-COVID, post. Why not? We decide when it ends, we decide when it begins. And I say anytime you have an opportunity of this new cycle, embrace it, grab it, it is new. And sextiles are conducive energy. Sextiles are really beautiful angles for us to work with the energy together. So this is how we're using love with our heart, with the radiance of the sun in Pisces, to bring this into being. And almost asking permission of Pluto, saying, no, but we know where we're at, we know what we're doing. We know what we're doing by letting go of the I, by letting go of the frame. It's kicking right. So you've got a bicycle, you're going on a tricycle, and you've got stabilizers. And then now it's like Pisces saying, hammer them off. We don't need them. I don't need to be stable. I'm just woo. And it's not going to manifest in a negative way if we've done the work. And I don't mean for this to be like, if you've not done the work, it's going to be shit and da 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 da. But this is just the way the cycles work, and they are cycles upon cycles upon cycles. It's a spiral, and it's every time we come around again in the wheel. And there's many ways to look at the wheel, and you can really look at each orbit of a planet as being the lifetime. And you know, like for Saturn, it's every 7 years changing. You know, the first square is when you're 7, the opposition is when you're 14, the next square is when you're 21, and then the conjunction is when you're 28, and then we go round and round and round. That's just with Saturn. But these are the overlapping themes that are going to be, it's like there's a sore spot, and every time it comes around it's ow, 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 with all of the planets. But not always ow, sometimes ooh, you know, it really depends on how we work with it, on what our experience has been. And eventually, once we've healed that, it's scar tissue, and it's just, we don't feel it, you know, we are always the same. And really that is in our core, we are seasonless. We are seasonless at our core. There's something to think about. Does the ocean have seasons? We're talking about the deep sea here with Pisces. So if there's a storm happening above the surface, how much do the fish feel it beneath? So, final date to talk about is the 20th of March, the equinox, my favourite day of the year, always, just bar none. It's a freshness and a completion of the 360 degrees. I don't know if you studied maths, 360 degrees in a circle, we've made it back to 0 point. And in the spiritual new age community, let's always get back to 0 point, meditate on 0 points. Well, there's your opportunity. I'm going to include some footage from this place where I am because it's just so beautiful. In summary, I would say this month, don't judge. Don't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself if you change, because every month we have a change from being more, like I found it quite difficult this month to watch many things, to intake many things, unless it's been something that I can then immediately transform into something that I'm producing. And instead of 24/7 we think we need to produce, or rather we think that and then we avoid that and we just binge Netflix, always with the anxiety that I need to be doing something. Well, no, we have periods of time of hyper productivity. This is not just because of Aquarius, this is because my Saturn, I've had Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, the Sun, everything transiting my natal Saturn point. So all Saturn productivity and creation and building, constructing things have all been triggered. So I've been hyper productive, and it's been wonderful to see that. And it really depends what's happening in your own chart. And with Pisces, it will feel much more receptive, and we'll feel much more able to ingest and much more able to process and much more able to see the past year and our whole life up to this point. So be tender, be gentle, be loving, be motherly, and meditate on what Neptune is. I still am a bit, given that my Uranus and Neptune were conjunct when I was born, it's difficult for me to disseminate, and they have very similar flavors. So use different opportunities in the year to engage with the different archetypes and the different planets and what they have to offer us. And really, it's just about love. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. And just how much we can share that, and how much we can feel that. And sharing it is, you know, when we have these third house, these Gemini communicative things, we think we need to start a radio station or something, but it can just be how we look at someone. And we can't even maybe show our mouths these days, but how you project your energy out into the world, and it just oozes from your pores. It comes out of the satellites of your own hair follicles. You know, it's beauty incarnate, which is natural. And this is the great time for making art and creating, and everything that you create, the Virgo can come in and try and judge it, and it's not a time for judgment, because it's a time for creating something. And before you even start, you know you will never be able to do this. Do you know? Like, having that in mind, like there is nothing better than what the creator has created. So all we can do is hold a candle to the sun and salute it and say, yes, yes to life, and yes to every day, and yes to being silly, and yes to feeling... I think silly is much better than stupid, you know, reducing these terms in our mind and paying attention to the frequency. Pisces is not an idiot. Pisces is highly intelligent. It's the crown chakra. It's this opportunity to just take, it's what you take in. So it's really a doorway. It's an open door. It's a vortex. And is this a time to allow ourselves to and take in all that the news has to offer us? Or is it a time to clear some space and go to the park and look at a puddle and look at a duck and look at a leaf and look at your family for what they actually are, which is a group of people, however odd they are, that help to create this vessel, this life that you live, and just all the gratitude we can feel for every day and all the things that are happening. And all the paradox, having the crescent moon above my head and then a fighter jet plane. You know, just this divine, man-made, natural, just everything it's just the great everything. It's just how much can you take in? How much of a, you know, it's like bringing a sponge. How much can you take in and then go, let it all out, and take it all in and let it all out? And it's wriggling and it's playing and it's dancing and singing, for Christ's sake. Sing! It's time to sing. It's time to sing. We've all got a voice. We have all got a voice. We've all got hands to work with. We've all got breath in us. And if we don't, well, then we're back in the earth and we're part of all of this. We're part of the great beyond, and we never go anywhere. We're always ever present. This is a perfect time to talk with your dead loved ones. It's a perfect time to contemplate death. I always think it's a good time to contemplate death, because there is life eternal. There is always this beat of the universe that is consistent and nothing ever goes anywhere. It's only ever transformed. This is a time to unify science and art. This is a time to study the cosmos, to study yourself, to study, doesn't matter whether you're studying the tiniest little breath or if you're studying astrophysics or whether you're studying your mother's behavior, just everything with that expanded viewpoint, that it's just the blessing of being able to utilize this incredible mind and this incredible gift of a body and this incredible gift of breath. And breathe. How do you breathe? How do you exhale? How deeply do you breathe? How much of your lung capacity do you use? How much are you engaging your sexuality as a creative life force that can help fulfill your dreams? How pure are your dreams? How much are they coming from how much are they coming from an addictive place? How much are they coming from a place of pure fire, pure passion for life, and a pure desire for freedom for everyone? How much can you look at any object, any person, yourself in the mirror, and just say, I love that, I love that, I love you, I love you, all of you, every day, all day, without compromise, without condition. And this is the emotional quality that Pisces has, that is that cry of the world, and it's the pain and the joy in one gulp. Do you know that feeling? One gulp of emotion that's just, you just have to give it back to the universe. It's not something you can put words to. There's not. Pisces is the unifier, so let's let it unify us as one. So thank you so much for being here with me today in this beautiful part of Spain. and letting me express all of this love that I'm feeling for you. It's been really wonderful. So please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button to see when I post or premiere new videos. Follow my Saturn series as I go through the houses and the signs, and share this with your friends, like it, and email me if you would like a reading, and we can go into your personal birth chart, which is just so juicy. And so this is your uniqueness. Your uniqueness is not your pain. Your uniqueness is not your suffering or your story or your age or your relationships. Your uniqueness is your divine spark, your spirit, your soul, your inner essence. That is what is wanting to come into its purest expression in the world. So before I go, let's have a small meditation to say thank you, thank you, thank you for this year, everything it has brought us, for these last 12 signs that we've moved through, and everything they've taught us about ourselves inside and out. Wherever our attention has been focused, it has all been for the highest good of us. And the best thing we can do is accept, accept, accept. Accept what we cannot change, and change what we cannot accept. Breathe into the diaphragm. Exhale, and then exhale some more. What are you holding? What don't you need? Give it back, give it back, give it back to the universe. It's the sound of the drum, of the beat, of the heart, of the center of the solar being of light, which guides us all. Thank you, 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 thank you. I appreciate your time, and I appreciate your desire to see the universe and see the world through this far more magical lens. It's all about the choice of glasses. And if this framework helps you understand yourself and the universe in a better way, then you are contributing in a positive way to this world.